So I thought I might mix things up a bit because this is the 20th episode, and talk a bit about why I chose the Fiat 124, why I chose this car, and things like that. So why the Fiat 124? It was built nearly a decade before I was born. So why the Fiat 124? That's a long story. When I was sort of 12 or 13, I remember walking home from school with one of my mates, and we walked a different way on one of these afternoons, and I walked past the house in the neighbourhood, and there out the front was a gunmetal grey 124 AC, so the first of the series. And I remember stopping at 13, looking at this car and thinking that was the coolest car that I had ever seen, and instantaneously fell in love with the 124. Obviously, you know, at 13, wasn't old enough to drive, but from that moment on, I was on a mission to try to find out as much as I could about the Fiat 124s. And back in those times, the internet was almost non-existent, so it involved a lot of searching through libraries, trying to find anything to do with the 124. I found a bit of stuff, and that I just grew from there, wanting one. So a few years later, when I turned 16, 17, all I wanted for my first car was a 124. I actually wanted the 124cc, so one of these. And I was on a mission to get one. But all my family and all my friends said, do not get that car as your first car, that you're going to daily every day and probably do stupid things in, as you do when you're 16. And so they talked me out of it, ended up buying something else. But from that day, I was always keeping my eye on the 124s and how much they were selling for. And for decades, I kept an eye on them and thought one day I'm gonna buy one. And it was like that until October last year, when I just happened to have finished my role in one company, and I had 3 weeks off before starting the new company. And I had this big trip planned to go away camping, but unfortunately Mother Nature had other ideas, and there was torrential rain for weeks leading up to it, so everywhere was flooded. So then I was left with 3 weeks off, no camping trip, nothing to do. I'm not one of those people that likes to sit on the couch, so I think after the first day I was scrolling through Marketplace and a Fiat 124cc came up, and it was in my city. So I thought, now might be the time. I got time off. I've always wanted to get one. So I gave them a call, and the next day I went out there and had a look at it. I was sold on the spot. I knew that I wanted it. So I made them an offer. They took it. I organised the car trailer. I got up there the same day, picked it up in the rain, and drove it all the way home. And I think that's the footage from the first episode that you'll see. And so that's how I acquired this beauty behind me. The story behind this car is it was owned by a fella who I think was planning on restoring. I think he might have half restored it and wanted to do a bit more stuff. The outside was okay. It could have been better. There was a lot of interesting rust repairs, would I say that? Yeah. And the interior was pretty ropey, so I think that was probably what he was planning on doing, but unfortunately I think he passed away and never got to finish it. But apparently it was his pride and joy. And so that's the story behind this car, and probably a big driver in why I want to sort of make it absolutely immaculate, sort of to honour its previous owner who, you know, as much as he wanted to, didn't quite make the journey to see that. Yeah, so that's the story behind this car. Right, into the reasons for wanting to do a full rebuild on a car when you've got absolutely no experience on rebuilding a car. It's a bit like always wanting a Fiat 124 ever since I can remember. So I was obsessed with cars when I was a kid, had a million toy cars, that's all I cared about. And even from a really young age, I've always wanted to, or I always loved the idea of fully rebuilding a car from the ground up myself, from the engine to gearbox to diff to bodywork, everything. And just that feeling you'd probably, well, I'm assuming the feeling you'll get when you roll it out of your driveway for the first time and you know that you have done every single bit of work on the whole car. It's just something I've always wanted to do. And so I think the time came when I thought in life you got to do what you want to do. So finally took the plunge and bought this and started stripping it down. I'm in no way a mechanic or a bodywork guy. Up until buying this car, I knew pretty much nothing. But as long as you've got determination and a will to learn, and YouTube, because you can learn anything on YouTube, as long as you've got that drive, I think anyone can do it. You don't need to be, you know, you don't need to have experience in all these things to do it. I mean, as you can see from my videos, it's definitely not a how-to guide, my videos. It's probably how not to guide, if anything. But I'm teaching myself as I go along, and I think I'm learning a lot in the whole process, which is massive for me. That's the reason why I wanted to do this rebuild in the first place, just to learn, I guess, the art of restoring a car. Yeah. So the YouTube journey. Anyone that's seen the first sort of 8 or 9 episodes, you probably notice that it's more of a vlog rather than a running through while I'm doing stuff. That's because I was never planning on putting any of them on YouTube. My main goal was to keep a video diary of everything I've done to this car, because it'd be good to have and interesting for me personally to have, and also if I'm ever going to sell the car, it's pretty easy to say to a potential buyer once the car's been painted and looks $1 million. It's quite easy to say, oh yeah, I went through and got all the rust out and did a total bare metal restoration on it, but how do you prove that? I think a lot of people probably say that, and then you dig into the car and maybe their idea of a great restoration isn't the same as yours, maybe. So that was my main reason behind sort of video logging everything that I'd done. And that's why you'll see in the first sort of 8 or 9 episodes, it's not so much any videos of me doing anything, it's me talking about what I've done after I've done it and showing, you know, stuff that I've found or stuff that needs fixing. And so it was never meant to go on YouTube. And then I thought, I've got family in other parts of the country, you know, a fair way away, and friends that sort of regularly ask me how the build's going. And I thought, well, if I just upload them to YouTube, and then I can send my family and friends a link and just say, there you go, if you want to watch what I'm up to, you can go here. And so that's how it all started. And then I was expecting maybe 10 views a week or 10 views a video. But then more and more people started watching it. And to be honest, I was shocked because I was thinking to myself, who actually wants to sit there and watch me talk crap about playing with this car? I'm like, that can't really be interesting to people. But episode after episode, more and more people started watching. So I was thinking, well, if people are interested in watching, I'm going to be doing the work anyway. I might as well video it and put it on YouTube, and then people can keep watching it or they can not watch it, and that's fine. So that's how it sort of grew. It was never meant to be, I was never meant to be all over YouTube or putting stuff on YouTube, but I guess that's the way it all unfolds, I guess. So lastly, I'd just like to say a big thanks to everyone that's watched and the subscribers. As I said, I didn't expect any subscribers or really anyone to watch, so it's quite nice and a bit weird as well, knowing that people are watching. But and also people that comment is really good, because I'm just sitting in my garage with a camera looking at what I'm doing, or I'm just looking at numbers on YouTube of viewers and subscribers. But when people actually comment and tell us what they think or give me advice, that's the best thing, because it really hits home that there's people out there that are actually watching and actually interested in what I'm doing. So thank you to everyone that's commented and all the people who've given me some pretty solid advice, because yeah, I guess without that advice, I would probably struggle a lot more. So in a way, you know, the viewers are helping me restore this car as well, which I think's really great. So anyway, enough of me babbling. I think this episode we're gonna run through rebuilding the bottom sections of both of the inner wheel arches that were all rusted out. And yeah, hope you enjoy that. Thanks again for watching. All right, it's time to fix this inner wheel arch. So it's basically, this is broken down into two pieces. You got this main panel, which goes all the way around here and then up and has these two bolts in it, and then you have this sort of lip that comes up here and gets spot welded all along there. So we're gonna have to cut across here, probably. I'll go across there and down, and take this little part here off and rebuild that as one bit, and then probably cut across there and down and across there, and then rebuild this little section here and then spot weld them back together. So that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. So let's give that a crack. Right, so you can probably see what I've done there was I decided to take this whole lip here off, because when I'd taken just this section here off, I noticed it was pretty pretty rusty through there. It doesn't actually look too bad, but I thought it's not going to be hard to pop this off and spot weld it back on, so I might as well take it off, clean this up, clean all this up, reprime it, get it all nice, and then put it all back together. So yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So now I'll clean all this off and then make the cuts around this rusty end here. Then we should be good. Right, so I thought instead of trying to guess what shape this is and this rusted out bit, I mean, this doesn't really give me much of an idea where it stops. So I thought I might have a look at what the driver's side is like, and that actually, although it's just as rusted as the other one, it's still got its shape. So what I can do is take a template off this and reverse it and use it on here. It's probably a good time to actually take this off anyway, because then I can fix both of them at the same time, because this obviously needs fixing as well. So I can do two at once. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a template off this, mirror it, use it on that. And there it is, all done. Not bad, I reckon. I've also re-welded this this lip back on. This was the bottom of the lip that sort of sat right about there. So you can see how much was missing from that lip. So I bent up another one, used my new shrinker stretcher to put that nice curve on it, and look at that. Bloody ripper. So this inner wheel up now, this is the passenger side one, is all done. So now all I got to do is do the exact same thing again to the driver's side. another job done. This is the left and right hand inner wheel arch that had the rusted bottom ends of it that had to get all cut off and rebuilt. This is what it looked like before. That's what it looks like now. So that is another task ticked off the list.